Can you also introduce yourself and tell us why you are here?
My name is Fatoumatta Gassama. I am the founder and CEO of Girls Pride. I was the one doing the training for the teachers. Yeah, it was a 5 days training. We started on Monday and then we closed today. Yeah. So Girls Pride, it's a social enterprise. We are a social business. It started in 2017 as a result of period poverty affecting girls' education in the Gambia. Because we want to keep girls in schools during their period. We want every girl to finish high school, go to university, achieve their dreams of becoming doctors, lawyers, scientists, journalists. And then research has shown that 1 in 10 girls in Africa drop out of school due to period poverty. And three girls miss 3 to 5 days out of school every month during their period due to period poverty or part poverty. So I was a victim of that. I wasn't having anybody buying parts for me, so usually I would stay out of school during my period, which affected my education at some level, especially in junior school. So I came up with this project in 2017 to help other girls, especially those from low-income families, to see how to help them, how to support them manage their periods in a sustainable way. Also, how to encourage green period, because we talk about climate change effects. What can we provide for the girls that will keep them in schools, keep them healthy, and also keep the environment and the water bodies healthy. We don't want plastics and chemicals in our sewage system. We don't want them littering the environment, and we don't want them also in the seas and ozones, because we have water bodies that will be affected too. So in Girls Pride, we do trainings on sexual and reproductive health, on menstrual health and hygiene management, family planning, STIs. So we don't only focus on women and girls, we also train men to know about their reproductive health. And then we train men to know more about menstrual health, because we want men to be talking to their daughters, their sisters, and friends about periods, how to manage themselves. And we also train boys in schools on period semen, and again on menstrual hygiene, because most of the time when girls in school stain their uniform due to period poverty, when you get up, you have boys laughing at you. You stain your uniform, they'll call you names, that you are dirty. So which research has shown that some girls will either stop going to that particular school, they will request for transfer, or they will not go back to that school again. So which also affects girls' education. So in as much as we talk to boys, we also train girls, we talk to boys on how to become responsible. They need to understand period, that it's a natural process, it's not dirty. How can boys support girls during their period, so that when they grow up, we have a generation where we will address period poverty, we will eradicate the negative norms and social values and taboos surrounding period. We can easily talk to our daughters about period, how they should take care of themselves, because you already have the knowledge. And then how can we support them, either buying medicine for them during their periods, or buying parts for them. Or when you know how to make the parts, you can make it for your daughter or your sister. So aside from that, at Girls Pride, we do trainings on reusable part production. We train community members, we train teachers, and anybody interested. You don't have to be a female, anybody. You can be a man or a woman. We train you how to make parts. So when you go back to your homes, individual homes, you can train your daughters, your wife, or in schools, teachers will train schools. So here we today, like I said, we concluded a 5-day training, which was organized by the Comprehensive Health Education Project under Ministry of Basic and Secondary
Before we
Education.
come to that, training different kind of teachers on this kind of initiative is very crucial, and it's a step in the right direction. Where do you learn how to do this particular kind?
So for the reusable part, I did not just sit down and the idea came to me. I went for a training in the US in 2017. So during that training, I met an American teacher who goes to northern Kenya to provide, to help girls with school education, school fees, books, and all that. But she realized that girls are still missing out of school. they are not performing well. So she did a research and find out that it's because of lack of sanitary pads. So after our discussion, I was like, I think this is good because I'm a nurse by profession. This is my 10 years of experience in nursing. And during my practice in the hospitals too, especially in rural Gambia, when I was in Bansang Hospital, we have girls who come with severe pain, they don't know how to manage themselves or they have infections after their period. So I was thinking, what can I do to support girls in my community, especially when it comes to period poverty and keeping girls in schools, helping girls, girls empowerment and education. So I said this is a good idea. So I just saw it in my mind. When I came back to the Gambia, I reached out to the lady. She started giving me contacts of where she gets the parts. So for me, the first idea was, how do I get the parts to the Gambia? But looking at the sustainability part, I said, I need to learn how to do this so that I can train others because me alone, I cannot address the problem. What if I have the knowledge, I die or I travel? So I need to transfer knowledge. This has ever been a dream, and for me, this is a dream come true. So I started making research of the materials. Where do I get the materials, and then how do I make the parts? So myself and my younger sister, we started making prototypes. We used so many different kind of material. The first parts we make, the shape, you don't even want to show it to anybody, It was so funny. And we tried different materials, which did not work. And then eventually we were able to come up with something. We were using something like this, so this kind of material. But now we change because we make the parts and sell at Girls Pride. So we're using a part that is made of materials that are recommended internationally. That is what we use. But when we're doing training, to sustain this kind of projects, we use materials that are locally available. So the part idea came through a networking session that I had in the US, and then I learned by myself alongside with my sister, yeah, who is the head of production at Gas Pride. So in fact, she makes the part better than me. So we learned together, and now we are teaching others on how to make the parts.
Okay, in anything one does in life, there must have to be challenges. There must have to be difficulties. What are some of the challenges you are facing since you start this project?
So initially, when we told people about the idea of reusable parts, some of them will laugh, some will say, that's a crazy idea. Who will use part? Because this is what our elderly were using, cloth. So we just modify the cloth, and give it the shape of the disposable parts. We want to be modernized. So we modernize the material. So but, we face a lot of challenges. Sometimes we knock doors for partnership or for funding, they will reject us. But still, for us, like for me, it is something I'm passionate about, and then whatever it will take, I'll make so I do it. So the right materials that are required for the parts are not available in the Gambia. You use four different, either the leak-proof, the middle layer and the top. All these materials that are used or you are seeing, they are all improvised. They are not the ones that are recommended by international bodies that regulates the sanitary product market. So the materials are not available here. You need to import them. So they are also very expensive. So when you import, you buy them at a very high cost. You import them, pay shipping cost. So we know how it is in the Gambia. The business is slow because the market is slow. So you import something, it will take like 3 to 4 weeks before you get your raw materials in the Gambia. Again, when you come, you need to pay your import tax. You have your staff doing the sewing, you need to pay salaries. So the business, I would say the Gambians, the reusable parts, Gambians did not embrace it as in other countries, but we're trying to do more advocacy to let them know it is eco-friendly. We don't want to waste, create a lot of waste on our environment. We see the climate change effects. The time that should be hot, it's cold, or the cold season is hot, and then no enough rains. And we also want them to know it's healthy because you are not now exposing yourself to any chemical. And also, this pandemic taught us how to save money. And with reusable parts, you will know how to save money. Like, for example, a pad minimum will cost $50. So if you have 3 or 4 girls, you need to buy at least 2 packets for all of them every month. That is going to cost you a lot of money. And we know the salaries in the Gambia. If you are thinking of how to pay school fees, rent, is going to be a problem. So this is very cost effective. It saves money for the parents. And then also, because the materials we import and all the expenses, the part at the end of the day, they are expensive. But using locally available materials, people can learn how to make the parts for themselves. Yeah, and like I said, we have a lot of challenges, but with time we will be able to overcome those challenges. Yeah.
What will be your final message to our viewers?
So my final message is, let's go green. Let's address period poverty in the Gambia and in Africa in a sustainable way. We don't want to damage our environment or create an unfriendly environment for the future generation. We want them to come to this world, to enjoy what God has created for them. Also, I would say for men, let's work together with ladies, especially with parents. Don't say it is just the responsibility of the mother to talk to the girl, or male teachers. You pass the students to the female teachers. All of us need to come together, support girls. We need to talk to our girls about menstruation, how do they take care of themselves. And let's try to, especially fathers, let's try to support our daughters. Let's allocate a budget for them to buy parts every month. We will give them school fees, lunch, we will buy books, bags, everything new, but we hardly budget for parts. So if you can afford to buy a disposable part for your child, buy it for them in bulk and keep it, or give them the money every month. If you cannot, you have an alternative. The reusable parts, you can use it minimum 1 year. Some of them can be used for 3 years. So let's come together. The teachers cannot do this alone. I cannot do this alone. Girls Pride cannot do this alone. MOPSI cannot do this alone. CHE project cannot do this alone. We need to come together. And then the teachers are willing, through their new project, to go and train their teachers, have a part bank in the school, so that if your parents are poor, they cannot buy parts for you. You are in the school, you see your period. The teacher will not leave you to go home, or the teacher will not allow you to stain yourself. People laugh at you. They already make part, store it for you, so that you will stay in class whilst you are seeing your period, because together we can develop. What if we want to work individually, we will not. So for us to address period poverty, we need to use sustainable alternatives. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gassama.